All right. So I saw this movie called Out of Sight yesterday and the day before. I mean, I rented this movie and we can see it for 2 days. Actually, I still can't see it today, but I don't think I will. Anyways, it's 1998 movie. I'm 20 years old now, and it's a crime movie basically. And on Wikipedia they say it's a crime comedy movie, but I didn't really. I don't know. There are funny elements in it, but I wouldn't maybe call it a. At least that's not the comedy is not the. I didn't perceive it as a comedy movie. Anyways, it's directed by Steven Soderbergh. He seems to be a famous guy, but I think it's his. I haven't seen any of his movies before. I think. It's a good movie. Just to summarize. Okay, why did I see this movie? I saw this movie because recently I've been seeing Jackie Brown, movie directed by Quentin Tarantino in 1997. It was out 1997. I couldn't keep myself from rewatching Jackie Brown, so I don't know. At one point, I saw a few interviews about the movie, and in one of Quentin Tarantino's interview, he mentioned this movie because one of the characters in Jackie Brown actually is also is in this movie. Plays a policeman, a cop. Yep. And yeah, played by Michael Keaton. Played Batman, first Batman movie team. Was it first Batman movie? A few words about the plot. This was this is basically a crime movie, and it's basically a movie which revolves around the plot. It's mostly, I would say, it's mostly a plot-driven movie as opposed to like a more character-driven. Jackie Brown is also like a character-driven movie, but I would say this one is. I think on like. Okay, maybe I can get to like what I think about the movie, what I liked about the movie, and what I didn't like. One thing I think I didn't like about this movie was the characters felt a little flat. Like the main character. Okay, so the main stars are George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez in this movie, and like George Clooney plays criminal. He's a bank robber basically, but he's like a more educated type, I would say, more civilized. He's like a civilized bank robber. But like he says that he robbed like around 200 banks, but he says that he had never fired a gun before. So. Some sense is civilized. I don't know. It's up to you to decide, I guess. Yeah, and Jennifer Lopez plays like a cop. That basically, she plays a cop. She's like her main character is like a strong woman, but it's okay. She's a strong woman, but I didn't necessarily find it super interesting. She tries to catch George Clooney's character in the movie, and at the same time she's kind of like in love with him. I don't know. The dynamics work. Okay, it's kind of an interesting premise. I can see that, like, kind of feel for each other, but at the same time, like, they're enemies. They are adversaries. But at the same time, there's some love affair going on. I mean, it can be implemented in like an interesting way, but in this particular instance, I didn't see it shine through. I didn't really see it. I think the execution wasn't really there. It was kind of like I felt like it mostly played for, tried to, I don't know. I wouldn't want to say pander, but like it wanted to play it for like the mainstream audiences. Like it didn't really do it for me. So like characters, I mean, there were a few like side characters, like supporting characters that I kind of liked, like I guess the associated performances and like the characters themselves. I mean, it's definitely, the characters are definitely not as interesting as the ones in Jackie Brown. No way. Jackie Brown, you immediately get like who Samuel L. Jackson's character is, who, like, okay, again, actually you can compare it to, you can, I think it's right to compare this movie to Jackie Brown, because I mean it's they're based on, they are both based on books which are written by the same person, by the same author. It's based on Elmore Leonard. Yeah, it's based. The author is Elmore. These movies are based on Elmore Leonard's books, right? And what can I say? Didn't. Yeah. I kind of lost my train of thought there for an instance. Oh yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, the characters are kind of. Yeah, I mean, so the characters are basically constructed by the same guy, but the thing is, they're created by the same person, the same author, but the way kind of Quentin Tarantino portrays these characters were much more stronger. The way he depicts those characters with I guess the dialogues that Quentin Tarantino wrote for the characters. I mean, albeit like the characters are not the same, it kind of felt like the characters in this particular movie felt a little bit less interesting, less real to me. I think in this movie, like as I was trying to say before, this director wanted to appeal to more like mainstream audiences, I guess. And it's, yeah, and like the performances weren't that interesting either. I don't know why, but like it felt flat, like both Jennifer Lopez's performance and George Clooney's performance. I mean, it didn't really feel too much interesting, too real, like too striking as, I don't know, like Robert De Niro's portrayal of the Lewis character in Jackie Brown, right? Like in Jackie Brown, like that Lewis character, when you see that I mean, you already have met that guy before, right? It feels so real. Whereas if you compare it with character of the main protagonist, I even forgot his name. What was his name? Foley in Out of Sight. I mean, that Foley character kind of feels like a Wonder Boy. I mean, how many Wonder Boys have you met in your life, right? I mean, he's like a super intelligent person who who's super good looking and super like kind of intelligent, like robbed 200 banks, and it's like super charming womanizer. Okay, I mean there is a character, but it doesn't really feel real. I don't know. I haven't read the books, but in the movie at least, maybe it's George Lucas. It's just the way George Clooney delivers the dialogue, or just plays the role, but it didn't really feel too real to me. Other than that, one of the super weak points. I mean, it's not a nitpick. I mean, there were a few good scenes in the movie. There were a few good dialogues. Like, for instance, I kind of liked the way the antagonist speaks. It's like yeah. I don't want to spoil the plot too much, but there is a main antagonist played by Donald Cheadle, Frank Cheadle, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name right. Cheadle. He was also in Iron Man 1 and Boogie Nights. Yeah, I mean, I really liked the way that character spoke and kind of like acted, and I also liked the stoner character played by like he's basically the Steve Zahn. I mean, I haven't seen him in anything else other than this movie, but I don't know. I like the way I like his performance essentially, and I like that character also. Like he's like a low life, stoner guy who's not good for anything. He's just just wanders around. Just talks, talks a lot, but actually is not worth anything at the end of the day. Anyways, but yeah, there were a few good performances and a few good characters, but besides that, I don't know. I guess it was an okay movie. There were a few good things, as I've said, like few good characters, few good scenes. Few funny scenes. But it didn't really like. I guess my main problem with the movie is not a problem, but like it's an okay movie. But the reason why this isn't like a great movie, like Taxi Driver, or just like just to name another movie that I liked and it's kind of relevant here, because George Clooney was in it. Up in the Air, like those. I don't know, like for instance in that movie there was kind of like a clear message. There was kind of like after the movie I kind of started pondering on like a particular thing that the movie was trying to elaborate on. It wasn't like okay, maybe I shouldn't digress too much, but I don't really like. I kind of like I like when movies have something to say, right? Like it, not necessarily like in a militaristic, militant kind of way. I mean, I'm not talking about that. Like not like a like not trying to spread like an ideology or something like that, but like I think good art should have some sort of problem or question that they try to address, right? I couldn't really see that in this movie. You could ask, like, did you see it in Jackie Brown? Jackie Brown felt felt like real. It felt like it felt like a hangout movie, and it felt like you could actually meet those characters in real life. This one didn't quite have that. Although, I mean, the reason why as I tried to say before, the reason why I keep talking about Jackie Brown is because of this link. They are both written. Both stories were written by the same person. They are both based on books which were written by the same person. But okay, I mean, you could see this movie. It's kind of like, it's a good movie. It's not overly mainstream, I would say. It's kind of intelligent. Not like a groundbreaking movie to me, but you know. Anyways, that's it. I guess enough meandering. I hope I will get better at this.